Ms. Linda Amin in Singapore. He's an entrepreneur with sky-high ambitions in the world of luxury hospitality. Deepak Ohri has built his reputation at the very top of the Asian skyline as founder and CEO of Lebua Hotels and Resorts. Deepak Ohri is today's high flyer. Raised in India, based in Bangkok, Deepak Ohri's signature properties rise 250 meters above the streets of Thailand's capital. A cluster of 11 high-end restaurants and bars covering a dozen floors at the top of Bangkok's State Tower. The world's highest alfresco restaurant, 2 Michelin stars, and 2 5-star hotels comprising 550 suites. From struggling in college to teaching at Harvard and dining at the top table, Deepak says his father taught him the beauty of simplicity. The rest he taught himself. Deepak Ohri, welcome to High Flyers. It's such a pleasure to have you on board.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
It all started with Meritus, the ailing Meritus that needed a turnaround. What happened and what did you do?
Okay, so it started actually before ailing Meritus. It happened when it was an empty building. It was an empty roof. It was an empty dome complex. The biggest challenge was that nobody believed. And that's part of everyone's journey, actually, that nobody believes in you and you take the right path till the time you believe you're taking the right path. For first 3 months, the bar, Sky Bar, had only 3 guests, me, my boss, and her mother, 3 of us, and nobody wanted to go because that was the first standing bar. And then we said, you know what, we are doing something not right, and we said we need to do a storytelling part. And the storytelling, the first tagline was, even after dark, our sky still changes color, Sky Bar. That day and today we never look back. Meaning it has been a roaring success, one after the other. And then there was a conflict because the average check for the restaurant at that point of time was $50 and Meritus was selling rooms for $60. So there was 2 different kind of customers coming, and we said, you know what, let's take over the hotel, rebrand that as Lebua.
So it was a challenging time though, right? Because at that time it was during the financial crisis.
Yeah, so it's been...
How did you manage?
I think we have been very lucky. Thankfully, I had some great bosses to work for, so I learned a lot. And then I do go to business school. I do go to business school not to learn but to teach. But you actually, even you go for teaching, you come back learning more because students are very intelligent there. And there's one thing called reaching the right multiple. Second thing is working on an intangible which helps reaching the right multiple. That helped our profitability up and high. I think we have been able to create a brand where people can recognize us with. 6 years back, I would tell people that our competition is Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, Hermes. People would laugh at me and say, this is a snobbish and arrogant guy. But today, when people come to our place and they're realizing that actually these are the same customers who are coming to our place, they understand why I'm saying that.
What people don't realize is that there is a lot of science behind what you do, whether it is your hotel, whether it is your menu. Tell us more about that.
There's a huge amount of science. So what we do is we want a particular set of customers. We want a particular set of spending. We do a complete profiling on that. And then we design our menu according to these people. So there's a lot of science. There's a lot of business school graduates who are working with us. There's a lot of physics. There's a lot of stats that goes into that. There's also a lot of technology that goes behind the scene to understand these customers and how they will spend. So everything in a luxury business should be measurable, and everything at our place is measurable. Even we have devised ways of measuring intangible. We were the first company in the world which linked the employee satisfaction to the customer satisfaction. You know, we don't have a training department. You can't have one person training, say, 1,400 employees, and where the customer is changing every day. So you know who's our trainer? Every customer who comes and dine with us. is training our employees. They are our trainer. We learn from them.
And you also say that it is difficult to be an employee of the company.
It is very difficult to be an employee of a company. Why? Because independence, a lot of empowerment, a lot of faith, entrepreneurship. So when you have these kind of qualities, you are the best employee of lebua. But if you want someone to guide you, someone to hold your hand and walk, no. If you're going to think that food and beverage is about selling food, you're at wrong place. You're not at lebua. You're at lebua if you know food and beverage is an experience. Food and beverage is something which is going to create a destination. So then you're at the right place.
You know, it's interesting to see that you tapped technology way before everybody did. Digital was the way to go for you. How did it work for you? And why did you tap digital at a time when nobody believed in it or wanted to use it?
Okay. So when the occupancy was 8%, I didn't know what to do. So I went to someone and I said, what should I do? He said, go for e-commerce. So I said, I kept quiet.
This is the early 2000s.
Yeah, we are talking about 2004. Okay, so he said, then he was looking at me. I said, can you not tell anyone and I ask you a question? He said, yes. I said, what is e-commerce? so he explained me. So my question was, he said, you should do this, you should go digital, you should do the payment gateway, you should do the platform, you should go to the online travel agents. So like Expedia or Booking.com. So I said, how do I pay money to them? How can they just book? How do I get the money back? What is the guarantee? So I was a little bit confused and we did that. You cannot beat the technology. You can only be a part of it. And we became part of it. And we were the early people who believed in that, and that's why these people are very loyal to us, and it's a great partnership. So yes, you're right. But this was not my idea, the technology, because I didn't even know what was e-commerce, but I learned.
You're a hotelier, you're a restaurateur, and you also give lessons at Harvard Business School. I mean, what's the message that you send across to them?
Consumer behavior, diversity. For me, diversity is not about I don't like, and many people are going to get very upset watching this show. I don't like when people say diversity is that, oh, our top C-suite is 33% women. If the woman is 70%, 50%, 20%, you don't have to magnify it. Diversity is we have a lady who's selling champagne, and our glass of champagne at one of our bars is around $150 plus. And she was selling fried chicken at KFC. So how many people will actually hire someone straight from KFC to sell at a luxury place a champagne? So what we were looking at was not the qualification. What we were looking at was the passion, the ability to convey the message, ability to tell the story. Everyone is empowered, but within a space. So everyone has been given a rectangle. You can draw, you can do anything within that rectangle.
There's also the element of exclusivity.
There are 42 bottles in the world. That's on record. And all the 42 bottles are with us. You want to have it? Come to us.
Deepak, you talk about taking luxury to another level. What exactly do you mean, and what have you done for that?
I think I'm making it much more simpler. You know, the world has become very complicated with all this technology that is coming in, which is at the forefront. It's actually making luxury go at the back. So what we're doing is we are reversing the game, and we are taking the technology behind and putting people in front. Means people is the key. And that's intangible. And whatever is intangible is where people are not ready to put their money. And what we're doing is taking everything very simple. Luxury is not about price, it is about experience.
But when you talk about the hospitality industry, it is about people. What's different about the lebua brand?
Okay, so I give you an example. At lebua, when you are going to a restaurant on 64th floor, as soon as the lift opens, there are 4 hostesses who are going to greet you, or maybe 6. Now, Any other hotel company would say, why put so many people on 64th floor to greet? Let's reduce that by half number. We will save on manpower. So our thing is not to put 6 people to make it look crowded. The idea is when you're in a lift, there's anxious moment. You're excited. And when you come, you want to look left, right, and see what you have to do. So when you immediately greet it, as soon as the lift door opens, you just follow the people and go with them. We do 1,600 people, and we know exactly because we got trackers which has counters there, and we lose around 200 to 300 people coming up because we are not able to serve them. So these are the small things. When you talk about luxury, luxury is in detailing. Luxury is not on a broad thing. Luxury is an experience. Very, very small, minute things.
And there's no differentiation in the way you treat all your customers and VVIPs stand in line every time.
Including me. I also stand in a line. Sometimes I'm a number 50, so I'm standing and then I check my WhatsApp messages or email. But yes, everybody has to follow.
What is the message you're sending?
A right of equality. See, when I used to go, before we started this place, I got married in year 2000. So me and my wife would go. She don't drink, so I'll have a nice bottle of wine, and I will see someone is having a beer, but everybody, just because he's a known person, everybody will be going and talking to him. So I said, when we will do our restaurant, we'll have a right of equality, and the right of equality works.
You've expanded. You're not just in Thailand, but in India, in New Zealand. What is the running theme for your business?
Experience. So if someone is coming to stay at Lebua and thinking that they go to India and they will have all these sky bars, no. It is all about experiences. It's all about culture. It's all about, like our hotel in Lucknow is a heritage hotel. We opened 5 years back, and there has been hotels there for almost 60 years, but never before a heritage hotel has been there. So we took an old building, restored, opened a property. The whole idea is about experience. And I tell you something, we opened a bakery there. It's a funny story. And at that time, storytelling is a very important part of luxury. And that time, not many customers were coming to have coffee. So we said, we will give you a cup of black coffee free if you ask to buy a bread and say, we want Lucknow's best bread. And we will roll it in a newspaper and give it to them. Today, if you go there, there's a queue there and people are asking, we have stopped giving coffee, people are still asking, we want Lucknow's best bread. So if you go to Lucknow, you ask people, oh, where's the best bread in Lucknow? They say Lebua.
Why is it so difficult to replicate? There are lots of billionaires out there, there are lots of hoteliers out there who can easily copy what you do, yet they fall short. So where do they fall short?
So I'll take, normally I don't take names, but I'll take 2 names here. So Hudson Yard, which is a $25 billion development in New York City, has just opened the vessel. Everybody's going and getting the photographs done there. They have 2 restaurants. And in the first year, none of these 2 restaurants got Michelin star and great chefs. Maybe next year they will get. And in Singapore, where we are right now, a Raffles Hotel has opened. They have put a lot of money, but 2 of their restaurants, they've given it to outside chefs. So all these people, what they think is that food and beverage is a part of experience. And they outsource. The day you outsource your part of experience to someone, the whole experience is gone. And we just opened a restaurant 6 months back, and we are already got a Michelin, and we have 2 restaurants which are Michelin, and we are the only hotel in Thailand where 2 restaurants have got Michelin star within one property. So the point is, and we have created this ourselves, so you cannot outsource a part of an experience.
It also means that you have to empower your staff, and that's exactly what you do.
I'm very good at empowering. I believe in enjoying my life. So everyone, trust me, everyone is empowered, but within a space. So everyone has been given a rectangle. You can draw, you can do anything within that rectangle. Outside the rectangle you come, you have to ask me. So that's how we have done. But if we don't empower people, we cannot create an experiences like that.
How far can they go?
How far they can go means a chef can create anything on the menu. Just to give an example, he can outsource anything, he can hire any suppliers, he can buy anything. Till the time the parameter of food cost is maintained, that the food cost should not go above this percentage. That's fine. They buy caviar. Means one of my chefs, he just bought white truffles. I think he bought more than 1 kg of white truffles and got sold out in 10 days. So they can buy anything. They don't need to ask me, and I don't need to know. Creative people has to be let loose. Their emotion has to be maintained, and that is a first part of luxury.
There's also the element of exclusivity. You love the idea of having something that's limited. How is that playing out in your business?
Oh, very much. Like we have this champagne, which is 42 bottles left in the world. People can be billionaire, like you asked before. There are a lot of billionaires who are not able to replicate. Means they have 42 bottles in the world. And all the 42 bottles are with us. You want to have it? Come to us. We also do a lot of exclusive deals. Like we spoke with the Absolute company, and they created a vodka for us. So there's a vodka in a market, but there's a vodka at our place only made for us. It's a different vodka, but the same brand. So the point is, how do you convince these people? Now we have a champagne called Paris Jouet Belle Epoque Blanc de Blanc. When I went to the company and I said, I want this champagne, they said, no, Thailand people won't buy. Today we are selling that champagne more than whole of Singapore city, including duty-free shops. From one bar, which is 18 square meters.
Your first flight was when you were 22.
I didn't want to make a fool of myself. How to put a seatbelt on.
So how does it feel to now be lecturing at the Harvard Business School?
It was a true moment. It was like a moment of truth for me. And I was very happy.
The Greenland ice sheet is today the single largest contributor to sea level rise, and that's why there's a lot of attention on the Greenland ice sheet. It's a very dynamic ice sheet. It contains the fastest glaciers, and it's the ice sheet that is melting the most.
0, 1, 2. The drone's really useful because we're in quite a fast-flowing sector of the Greenland ice sheet where there are lots of surface fractures and crevasses, so it's quite difficult to operate on the ground. So the drone really allows us to get high-resolution data from sectors that we just couldn't visit safely in the field.
I felt that we could rebuild the idea of this multicultural museum in a way that was global and local. And whoever comes here, something of their culture is here somewhere.
The Art and Tech Lab launched in the fall of 2013. The program is very exploration-driven. Projects happen worldwide or online or in space.
Through working in public art, you're dealing with everything from building and safety to engineering and every aspect.
Technology is a bones and art is a flesh. The thing that enables a piece of art is often a form or a type of technology.
I think we are trying to make a statement that art and technology, they're not always separate. There's a lot more to get out of a conversation when you have both in the room.
Hyundai Motor, connecting art and technology.
Deepak, you were born in 1968 in New Delhi.
Oh my God, you're telling everyone my age. Okay.
To a middle-income family, what was it like growing up in Delhi?
I'm still friends with the community where I grew up. It was challenging. I was completely vegetarian and never drank alcohol. Nobody drinks alcohol at my place. When I went to my school, everybody laughed at me. It's a hotel school, and I had my first beer, and I didn't like it. And then they forced me, so it took me 2.5 years to enjoy my first beer. So this is the journey. I never ate meat. I never ate egg. So it took me a lot of time to develop myself. So yes, so this is what it takes when you grow from a middle-class family. I didn't know what was broccoli, and I used to remind that broccoli is a green color cauliflower. So I'd never seen broccoli. I'd seen the photographs, but that's it. That's what it is. So this is how, like growing up in those days in India, and that too in a middle class family.
What were your ambitions then in Delhi, and how did you get into hospitality?
So my ambition was to be in Air Force. My brother just retired as a very senior officer in Army, so I wanted to be in Air Force, and my mother didn't allow me. He says one in armed forces is more than enough. And hotel I got by default because I was not very studious, not getting into any big schools. So this one I got, and I was lucky, and then I didn't enjoy my first 2 years actually. I thought I got into a very different kind of a atmosphere, and I hardly used to go to school.
So how does it feel to now be lecturing at the Harvard Business School?
You know, I never even dreamt of that. So there are few things you dream of doing, and there are few things you never dreamt of. So that was something like a moment that came alive. That is where, when I tell people that believe in yourself, that belief came in, because you tell something, but then when that thing again happened with you, it was a true moment. It was like a moment of truth for me, and I was very happy. I was very, very happy.
Talking about the alignment of the stars, I mean, you and your wife went to Bangkok one day, fell in love, and suddenly decided that was where you were going to be. It was your wife's decision to be
Yes. We were in our honeymoon, and Bangkok was not on our itinerary, and she said, you getting me on honeymoon, and I've never seen such a stingy husband. Taking me for shopping. Let's fly to Bangkok for 2 days for shopping. So we were in Bangkok, and she said, I'm not going back. I don't know, you are intelligent, you are a capable person, find something, but I'm not going back. And that's how we are in Bangkok.
Deepak, it's interesting you talk about traveling. Your first flight was when you were 22.
Yes.
Tell us how it was like for you then. And your first passport.
Yeah, so I'll tell you. So my passport was before 22. So I think passport was when I was 18-year-old. I got the passport done, and everybody was laughing at me, my classmates. He says, why are you getting the passport done? Do you think you'll be able to go overseas? We are from middle class. We won't be able to go. I said, no, I'll go. And my first flight was from Bombay to Goa to attend the FHRA conference. I was working for the managing director. I was very excited and nervous. Nervous was that I didn't want to make a fool of myself. How to put a seat belt on. So first thing, I made sure that I board the flight, the first one, and then I looked at the guy next to me. How is he putting a seat belt on? And I put it. So I was like relieved that I put the seat belt on. So that was a great experience for me. First time at age of 22.
And looking back, do you now take it for granted? I mean,
I don't take things for granted. My late father is a teaching from him is never forget who your father and your beginnings. So maintain your roots. So I don't take things for granted. Things can change. Time in Hindu mythology, time is a very big factor. So we respect time. But what thing is that now I travel a lot. I don't enjoy traveling so much what I used to enjoy 20 years back. I can say that.
Deepak, I'm sure a lot of people are curious. You attend to VVIP customers, like clients perhaps. What's the lifestyle like in a night, for instance?
It can be crazy also sometimes, I'll be honest. See, I remember I met a very well-known, I won't take names, but a very, very well-known Hollywood star. And I went to his place for his bachelor's party, and that was one hell of a crazy night. And they're also normal people. But when you watch them on a screen, you think very differently. So yes, your life can be great. You learn a lot from these people. So I think I'm fortunate enough to have met Hollywood. I've been fortunate enough to have met world leaders. I've been fortunate enough in present assignment to have met the great business personalities from all over the world and great business people.
And at the Dome, what was the biggest spending you've seen in a night, for instance?
Okay, so that was at Lebua. The gentleman comes in a private jet, and he has a boat. His boat has not arrived in Phuket, so he stays for a night. And he just ordered few wines and champagne and some snacks, and it was $1.5 million.
What was it spent on?
He's from a country where caviar is eaten quite a lot, so he ordered some caviar. Some is a
$1.5 million worth of caviar?
No, and then some great wines, because some of our wines carry a price tag of $100,000. So he ordered a few of those and champagne, and that's it.
It's been quite a fascinating 30-year journey for you, almost 30 years. Where do you go from here? What keeps you excited about the business?
I think I have one thing and I have one ambition in my life which I want to fulfill. I want this luxury model, which will become famous after this show, but I want to put that as a big disruptor all over the world, so people understand that this is a new lifestyle, this is a new experience, and this is the new future.
How about in terms of your expansion plans?
We are working on that. We created the world's first vertical destination. Now we will be looking in next 2 years for IPO, and then looking at CMLV, that is Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos and Vietnam, and create luxury boutique experience.
Deepak, what has been key to your success?
I think my key to my success is the values given by my late father. And I always cherish that.
What would that be?
The value is stay simple, and we have transformed luxury into simplicity. Be truthful and always maintain your ethics.
Deepak Ohri, thank you so much for being on High Flyers. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you.